السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته طلابنا. Our lecture today is chapter 14. We skip chapter 13 and we begin with chapter 14 because it is important for you to know the things or the information that is contained here. Chapter 14 is about the aspects of connected speech. And here we will deal with rhythm, for example, assimilation, elision, and linking. So 4 aspects of connected speech. You know the meaning of connected speech. We talked in the previous chapters about words. We begin with sounds, then syllables, then we talked about or discussed words. Now we talk about connected speech. When I have, for example, sentences, when we speak with each other. So let us know or recognize the aspects of this connected speech. First of all, we have, or let us say, many years ago, the scientists tried to develop machines that produce speech from vocabulary or, let us say, pre-recorded words. The machines were designed to join these words, the recorded words, together and formulate or form sentences. Okay? But is the, let us say, connected words done by the machine is the same as the way that people or, let us say, human beings speak? No, definitely no. Why? Because the quality of the speech done by the machine was so unnatural, مو طبيعية, because the way of producing speech by the machine is different from the way that the speakers do in their speech. Why? Because there are many aspects that the human or that in the way, let us say, humans speak, okay, which is different from what is found in the mechanical speech. So what are these aspects in the speech of the humans, okay, or the way the human beings speak and is not found or are not found in the mechanical speech or the, let us say, the speech done by the machines? Number 1 is rhythm. Number 2, assimilation. Number 3, elision. And number 4 is what? Linking. So let us begin with the rhythm. What do I mean by the rhythm? This notion means the happening at regular intervals of time. Okay? For example, we can detect the rhythm of the heartbeat, دقات القلب. صحيح؟ إيقاعها. This is called what? This is called rhythm. So rhythm is what? Is detectable in the regular occurrence of stressed syllables. فإذا كيف أني يعني أميز الرhythm؟ هو regular occurrence, الحدوث المنتظم للstressed syllables. Okay? We have 2 theories in rhythm. Pay attention, students. There are 2 theories of rhythm. Number 1, the stress-timed rhythm. The stress-timed rhythm, which implies that the stress syllables will tend to occur at relatively regular intervals, okay, whether they are separated from or by unstressed syllables or not. Okay, so this is called what? Stress-timed rhythm. Okay, in which what? The stress syllables tend to occur at regular intervals, هذه الستريس syllables السيلابلز المشددة تحدث أو تحصل بفواصل منتظمة. This is called what? Stress timed rhythm. Of course, English is one of the languages that follow that rhythm. Okay, هي واحدة من اللغات اللي تتبع هذا النظام من الإيقاع. The stress timed rhythm theory states that the times from each stress syllable to the next will tend to be the same. المسافة أو الوقت ما بين stress syllable إلى آخر راح يكون the same. Okay. طبعا irrespective of the number of the intervening unstressed syllables بغض النظر عن وجود unstressed syllables. This is the theory of what? The stress timed rhythm theory. Like, for example, English, like Arabic, Russian, all of them are what? Stress timed rhythm theory. But French, for example, has different rhythmical structure. There is another theory about the rhythm. For example, in French, بالفرنسية, the rhythm is called syllable timed, syllable not stress, syllable timed rhythm. Okay? The syllables, whether stress or unstress, ما لها علاقة, tend to occur at regular time intervals. Syllables, okay? فإذا syllables هذه tend to occur at regular time intervals. Okay? And the time between the stress syllables will be shorter, of course. Will be shorter. Or sometimes longer according to the what? To the number of the unstressed syllables. So this is the difference. This is a question. What is the difference between the stress timed rhythm and the syllable timed rhythm? Okay, the first one depends on the stressed syllables. The second one, no, depends on what? On the syllables, whether stress or unstress. Okay, yeah. Of course, there is the unit of the rhythm. Each unit of rhythm is called foot. كل وحدة من الإيقاع نسميها foot. Okay, with the foot طبعا begins with the stress syllables and end with the what? The following stress syllable. يبدأ لي بالstress syllable and ينتهي لي with what? With the following stress syllable. هذه الفترة المجال ما بيناتهم is called foot. Okay, the foot التعريف مالته on page 108 begins with a stress syllable and includes all following unstressed syllables up to the following stress syllable. من stress syllable إلى stress syllable الآخر اللي بعده. منطيني أمثلة موجودة عندي. Here we have a description of the foot. Of course, some theories goes further than that. Some theories of rhythm go further than this and talk about the feet, whether they are strong or what, or weak. Okay, so here we have, for example, some examples. We have, for example, 20. 20 consists of two syllables, twan and t. Twan is the strong foot and t is the weak foot. We have, for example, the word places. We have play is the strong syllable and sis is what? Is the weak one. So when I say, for example, 20 places, here we will have what? We have the diagram on page 108. Look at them, please, students. Here you will have a diagram or a tree diagram. Tree diagram. راح يصير عندنا شلون الtree in tree diagram in grammar. You will see this. Also here we have in what? In phonetics. A tree diagram. عبارة عن شجرة للوصف أو للتقسيم. راح نشاهد بأنه الرhythm مثلا لما يكون عندي two words عندي weak syllable or weak let us say foot and strong foot. 20 تتقسم إلى also إلى strong foot and weak foot. The same is with the places. If I put these two words into larger sentence, خلينا نقول في كلام أكثر من هذا الشيء. For example, when I say 20 places further back. For example, 20 places further back. This is on page 109. You will see that also we have what? A tree diagram. I will have 20 places is the weak, let us say, foot here, and the strong one is further back. Okay? Of course, I analyze further back also, etc. So by analyzing speech in this way, لما أحلل الكلام بهالطريقة راح يشوفني are able to what? To show, we are able to show the relationships between the strong and the weak elements in our speech. راح نبين elements اللي هي strong and weak طبعا with the different levels of stress. لما أقول weak و strong أقصد بها مستوى الستريس, levels of stress. So the strength of any particular syllable, أي قوة أي جزء من الsyllable أي مقطع, can be measured by counting up the number of times an S symbol, S معناها strong symbol occurs above it. فإذا كيف أعرف هذا الإليمنت هو strong؟ أشوف شنو اللي الشجرة مالتي التحليل مالتي شنو الS كم مرة حدثت لي الS أقصد بها strong element. فنيجي for example 20 عندي هذا 20 فقط مرة واحدة S. places also عندي الplay 2 further مرة واحدة. back لو ننتبه لها back كم مرة حاصلة عندها الS strong element 1 2 3. فإذا which is the strongest syllable here or element let us say here is what? Is back. Very good. So in this way بهاي الطريقة according to this, when I analyze the speech, we are able to show the relationships between the strong and the weak element, and the strength of any particular element here or syllable can be measured by counting up بحساب the number of the times عدد المرات an S symbol رمز S occurs above it. Okay? Of course, back is the strongest one. We have said this. So in a brief, let us say summarize things. Sometimes of course, you know that the stress shift, we have talked about this, that we sometimes when we add an element or a word to another word, it affects تأثر على إيش the place of the stress, وهذا نسميه stress shift, انتقالة الستريس يتحول من هيك إلى إيش. تتذكرون بالمحاضرات السابقة we talked about for example hard, for example handed sentence, about the teacher. Let me give it to you. We have for example bad-tempered. bad-tempered السيلابل الثانية والكلمة الثانية عليها الستريس، لكن من أضيف teacher إلى راح يأثر لي على مكان الستريس، راح يصير عندي stress shift تحول بالستريس. فشو يصير عندي bad-tempered teacher، الستريس تتحول إلى teacher، ويصير الباد-tempered عليها شنو؟ عليها not primary stress وإنما secondary one. So this is called what? This is called stress shift. Stress shift. منطيني مثال on page 109. We have for example compact. compact. compact الستريس على المقطع الثاني تلاحظون compact. اوكي. لكن من اضيف disk راح وين تتحول؟ يتحول لي على اولا على الفيرست syllable بالنسبة إلها، والبرايمري الثاني على الديسك الثاني الكلمة اللي أنا ضفتها. compact disk. compact disk. So this is called stress shift. فإذا السطرين اللي بعد الأمثلة مهمة. In brief, it seems that stresses are altered, changed. Okay, changed. stresses are altered or changed according to context. حسب سياقها، وين موقعها، شنو اللي ضفتها، كيف اتكلمت، يعني استخدمتها بالكلام. Okay, so it seems that stresses are altered according to context. هاي مهمة جدا. Underline this line. Altered according to what? According to context. So we need to be able to explain how and why this happens, but this is a difficult question, of course, and it is not our business now. Okay, so there is an additional factor in speaking English. We vary in how rhythmically we speak. Of course, in our speech, the rhythm of our speech is changed also. How? When we talk, for example, or we speak publicly, let us say public speaking, we use or we speak very rhythmically. Very rhythmically, I mean there is a rhythm. Okay, there is a rhythm in our speak. But when, for example, when we are nervous, for example, when we are hesitant, no, we may speak arrhythmically. I mean without rhythm. فإذن, so there is another factor in speaking English or in speaking. إذن بالكلام أكو يتغير الرhythm مالتنا according to our state. The number one, الستريسز مكانها يتحول or shift according to the context حسب الكلام، يعني إضافة الكلمة قبلها بعدها etc. Number two, our state. هل when I'm talking relaxed, for example, I'm happy, for example, I'm giving a public speech, or I am hesitant, angry, for example, or nervous. So my rhythm will be changed, right? So these are the most important points according to or concerning the rhythm. The second aspect, of course, this aspect we do not find it in the mechanical speech. صحيح بالكلام اللي هو بالماكينة اللي هو يكون فد شيء repeated ones, for example, or connected, let us say, words, we will not find this rhythm. Why? Because it is a machine. The second aspect, which is very important in our speech, is the assimilation. Is what? Assimilation. What is assimilation? Okay, what is assimilation? The third line, okay, on page 110 in assimilation. A significant difference in natural connected speech, كلامنا الطبيعي, is the way that sounds belonging to one word can cause changes in sounds belonging to neighboring words. الإدغام، الاسيميليشن اللي هو الإدغام، هو مدى تأثير الصوت على الصوت الآخر من الكلمة الأخرى. في بعض الأحيان in Arabic, for example, when I say أنباء، if I say it quickly, I will say what? أنباء. I will say what? أنباء. سوف it will or these two sounds will be changed into what? Into أنباء or أنباء. هي بالأصل نون باء، لكن when I say it أنباء. This is in Arabic, of course. In English also the same event will happen. The same situation will occur when let us say one word can cause changes in sounds belonging to neighboring words. Okay, this is called what? This is called assimilation. So assimilation, let us read this for you, the first passage or the first paragraph on page 110, very important one. Assuming that we know how the phonemes of particular word would be realized when the word is pronounced in isolation, in cases where we find a phoneme realized differently as a result of being near some other phoneme belonging to a neighboring word. And this is called what? Assimilation. So assimilation is something which varies, يختلف in extent according to speaking rate and style. Of course, assimilation is varied, is changed, يختلف أو يتنوع according to the speaking rate, مستوى أو نسبة الكلام, and the style. It is more likely to be found in rapid, casual speech and less likely in slow, careful speech. طبعا وين ألقى الاسيميليشن وين يحصل لي كثير؟ in rapid السريع، وكاجوال سبيتش الكلام الطبيعي الكاجوال العادي، زين، أكثر من لما يكون الكلام مالتي slow careful speech. إذا الاسيميليشن يحصل بالكاجوال الcasual speech I mean والrapid speech. Okay, so assimilation depends on the speaking rate and the style. Sometimes the difference caused by assimilation is very noticeable and sometimes it is very slight. الassimilation قد يكون كلش واضح, okay, noticeable one, or sometimes it is slight. Okay, we can, for example, explain the assimilation, let us say, or describe assimilation, how it affects the consonant sounds. One consonant sound changes the consonant sound on the other word. On page 111, we have here, for example, عندكم الدايجرام عندي two words. الورد الأولى منتهية بconsonant sound والورد الثانية بادية بconsonant sound. فأكو word boundary, أكو حد فاصل ما بين الكلمتين. If, this is important, if the consonant sound changes to become like the second consonant sound, okay, let us say, if the final consonant F, CF, the final, النهائي, changes to, تغير إلى أن يصبح مثل CI اللي هو شنو initial consonant. إذا تغير in this way, this assimilation is called regressive. Means the phoneme that comes first is affected by the one that comes after it. يعني الكونسونانت يتأثر باللي وراه, راح الثاني يغير الأول. This is called what? Regressive. يعني اللي ورا. assimilation إدغام, لكن اللي ورا الخلف هو اللي راح يتأثر. Okay? And if the initial consonant changes to become like the final consonant, لكن إذا هذا الكونسونانت الأول, يعني البداية قصدي الابتدائي بالكلمة الثانية أول بدايتها, يتغير and become like the final consonant مالت الكلمة اللي قبلها, هذا الاسsimilation is called progressive. هذا يسمى تقدمي للأمام. يعني هذا الكونسونانت اللي بالأخير أثر على الكونسونانت اللي بالكلمة الثانية اللي بالبداية. So this is called what? Progressive. فإذا we have two kinds of assimilation. We have regressive and we have what? We have progressive. التسمية الأخرى للprogressive we can say it coalescence or coalescent assimilation. Coalescence or coalescent. Okay? Yes. In what ways can a consonant change? عرفنا إنه بالassimilation أكو تغيير بالconsonant, وصحيح ولا لا؟ وهذا قلنا التغيير يا أما يأثر بشكل للخلف ونسميه regressive أو للأمام ونسميه progressive. زين, إذن أكو تغيير التغيير بأي ناحية, من أي ناحية يكون التغيير؟ هذا الإدغام ويغير لي, زين يغير لي بالصوت من أي ناحية؟ There are three ways of what a consonant change. There are three kinds of assimilation. عندي ثلاثة أنواع من أو الways أقصد بيها اللي يأثر لي بيها assimilation. Number one, either the difference in place of articulation, أما يغير لي مكان النطق, or the differences in manner of articulation, أو يغير لي way of producing the sound, or the differences in voicing, أو قد يكون التغيير يصبح مثلا من الفويس يحول إلى voiceless أو من voiceless يصبح voiced. So in what ways can a consonant change? A consonant can change or can be changed into what? In three types. We have three types. Number one, assimilation of a place. Two, assimilation of manner. And three, assimilation of or on in voicing. Let us begin with the first one, which is assimilation of a place. In assimilation of a place, there are many examples are given here in your book. I would like you to memorize or to understand one or two only, and this is enough for you. For example, here we have a final consonant, for example, with alveolar place of articulation. إذا مثلا الكونسونانت alveolar place of articulation is followed by initial consonant, the place matter not alveolar, for example. Okay, so this also will affect the place of articulation. For example, when I have that, okay, and that person, and the كلمتين that person, okay, that person, T sound is alveolar, right? Person, P sound is what? Bilabial consonant. So when I pronounce them rapidly, for example, there will be assimilation. اوكي الاسيميليشن راح شي يحول لي T sound into P sound. يعني كأنه أقول the person, not that, the person. So T sound is changed into what? Into P sound. إذن هاي غير لي مكانها، مكان النطق تماما تغير عندي. Okay, another one, for example. When I have, for example, two words مثلا green paper, لوحدهم green و paper, okay? When I pronounce them rapidly, for example, or in the connected speech, it will, or they will be pronounced like that, green paper. The N sound will be what? Will be changed into what? Into M sound. Okay, so this is called what? Assimilation of a place of articulation. The second difference, or the second, let us say, way of the change is what? Assimilation of manner. طبعا assimilation of manner is much less noticeable. Assimilation of a place, no, is the most clearly observable, I mean, in some cases where in most of the words. فإذا الأغلبية يكون assimilation of a place. Assimilation of manner is much less noticeable, but it happens, of course. ولكن يحصل, yes, يحصل. It happens. Okay. For example, أيضا منطين كثير من الأمثلة تفهموا لي 2 or 3 is very enough for you. For example, here we have, for example, when we have the words good night, okay? But when I pronounce them rapidly, or in my, let us say, in my speech, it will be changed into good night, not good, وإنما good night, okay? Good night. So here we have what? The change in the manner of articulation. It will change from what? From D sound into N sound, nasal, okay? It will be nasal sounds. I will use the nasal or the plosive, let us say, nasal, okay? At the end of the preceding word, it will be changed into what? Into nasal sounds. D sound will be changed into nasal sound. So the air goes through or from my nose, not my what? Mouth. Okay? For example, when I say get them. But when I pronounce them, it will be like get them. Okay? Read these. read these. It will be like read these. Read these. The sound, different the, different way of saying or pronouncing the. So this is also the assimilation what of manner of articulation, of course. Okay. The third aspect of connected speech is elision. Elision معناها الحذف. Elision. The nature of elision may be stated quite simply. يعني يمكن أن أعرفها إنه under certain circumstances sounds disappear. هذا تعريف البسيط لها. Under certain circumstances sounds شي يصير بيهم disappear. Okay, and we call this zero or zero realization, or let us say deleted sound. Okay, فلما يكون يختفي هذا الصوت أو ما يبين. As with assimilation, نفس حالة الاسsimilation, الإليجن هو typical شيء طبيعي للرابid والcasual speech. Okay, بالcasual والrapid speech, الإليجن is something which is very normal. Okay, producing illusions is something which foreign learners do not need to learn to do, but it is important for them to be aware of it. We, as learners, we should know what is illusion. Why sometimes I do not understand the speech of the native speakers. Why? One of the reasons is the illusion, the deletion of certain sounds. وإحنا نقول يبلع أصوات. So this is the illusion. Okay? So, as of course examples of this, we have on page 114. For example, we have the loss of the weak vowel after a p with t with k. For example, when I say potato, potato الوحدها potato, we have P-O-T-A-T-O. Okay, but in connected speech, no, it will be pronounced like potato, potato. Okay, there is elision of the O sound, for example. Or when of course, when I say it in a connected speech, not isolated words. Also, we have the weak vowels plus the N will L will re sound. They will be syllabic consonants. Okay, for example, when I say tonight, الوحدها tonight. Okay, but when I put it in a connected speech or in a sentence, I will pronounce it as what? Tonight, tonight. O sound or schwa sound is deleted and the N becomes syllabic N. Tonight, tonight. Okay, correct, correct. Re sound is also syllabic one. Please, please. Okay, police. Okay, also L sound is what? Is syllabic one. The third, let us say, example, or as an example or evidence of the illusion, sometimes we avoid the complex consonant cluster. If we have consonant cluster أكثر من 2 أو 3 أصوات صحيحة مع بعضهم is difficult in English. So in this case also we delete some of the sounds. For example, when I say sixth throne مثلا, okay, it is difficult to pronounce them. So even the foreigners will delete certain sounds. Okay, when I say, for example, acts, act وأضيف لها s, acts, it is difficult for me or for me to, when I pronounce it or when I say it in a sentence or rapidly in casual speech. So I will say it as if I say acts, acts. T sound is what? Is deleted here. Okay? Or when I say looked back, looked back, looked back. But when I say it in a connected speech, no, it will be like look back, look back. T sound or ed كحروف, T sound is what is deleted here. Okay? Yes. Of course, now we in this point we will deal with the contractions, the contracted forms. أيضا last lectures we talked about the contracted forms. Okay, so here we have, it is difficult to know whether the contractions and contracted forms should be regarded as examples of illusion or not. هنا التساؤل، هل يمكن أن نعتبر contracted forms هي صيغة من صيغ الillusion? Okay, it is difficult to decide this, but the best known cases عندي مثلا for example had and would. كثير من عندنا من نكتبها نكتبها حتى من نرفضها only D. Okay, had, would spelled D, pronounced D sound or ed after the consonant. Or for example when I say will, okay, will pronounce L only. And for example have, sometimes I pronounce it as V sound only. Okay, so these are also the contracted forms, and it's let us say relationship with illusion. The last aspect of connected speech is linking. Okay, linking. In our hypothetical mechanical speech, إذا كان عندي speech said, let us say, by a machine, all the words would be separate units placed next to each other in a sequence, right? But in real connected speech, لكن بالحقيقة, we link words together in a number of ways. نربط مع الكلمات مع بعضها in a number of ways. قلنا راح يظهر عندي الرhythm لازم اهتم له، يظهر عندي الاسsimilation هاي العملية، تظهر عندي illusion, and also what? Linking. The most familiar case is the use of linking re. احنا مرت علينا بالweak forms تتذكرون قلنا دائما مثلا weak form لما يكون وراها followed by a vowel there will be a re sound، راح تظهر لي re sound. This re is called linking re، أسموها الرابطة re, linking re. The phoneme re does not occur in syllable final position. خلي بالكم ما يحصل، مو تتذكرون BBC accent قلنا ما يصير بالأخير، لكن بالروتيك نقدر اللي نستخدم الري sound. Okay, so when I, for example, when I have here is without what? Without re sound. But when I say, for example, here are, okay, there will be what? The appearance, let us say, ظهور الري sound. فراح يصير عندي here, okay? Or for example, when I say four, أربعة, four, there is no re. But when I say مثلا 4 eggs, here I should pronounce the re sound. 4 eggs, 4 eggs. Okay. Also, we have many. The book is full of the full of examples about this thing. BBC speakers often use re in a similar word or way to link words ending with a vowel, even when there is no justification from the spelling. Okay. في بعض الأحيان, here for example when I say four مثلا 4 eggs, re sound موجودة أصلا in the word for, right? But I pronounce it without re sound as the pronunciation of the BBC pronunciation or accent. I do not pronounce the re sound. But if I have another word begins with a vowel sound, no, the re is must, let us say, or should be pronounced. فصير 4 eggs. Sometimes there is no re in the original word. الري ساوند ما موجود، الري كحرف ما موجود أصلا بالكلمة، لكن كثير من خلينا نلاحظ بالإنجليش سبيكرز يظهر عندهم في كلامهم الري ساوند in, let us say, in between their words. هذه الري أسميها intrusive شلون دخيلة، نسميها intrusive re. So, for example, when I say media event, media event, media event, media event, الر sound تظهر عندي لما أدمج الكلمتين. Or for example لما نقول formula A, formula A. When I pronounce these two words, I will pronounce the intrusive r in between the two words. Formular A, formular A. So r sound here is called what? Intrusive r sound. Clear? So some English speakers and teachers still regard this as incorrect and standard pronunciation, but it is undoubtedly widespread. It is widespread. طبعا Lincoln gray and intrusive ray are special cases of juncture. الانتروسيف ray واللينكن جراي هي يعني special cases حالات خاصة من الجنكشر. juncture means الانترفول الفاصل. لما أتكلم مثلا وأوقف شوي وأبدي أتكلم مرة أخرى. فهذه الانتروسيف ray واللينكن جراي هي يقول لك قصة، يعني هي من حالات الجنكشر أو التوقف بالكلام. We need to consider the relationship between one sound and the sound that immediately precede and followed it. Okay? For example, when I say مثلا عندي كلمتين my turn, دوري, my turn. Okay? My turn. Then the problem lies in deciding what the relationship is between I اللي هي من كلمة my and ت من الكلمة الثانية. Okay? They are closely linked. They are closely linked. Since we do not usually pause between words, there is no silence to indicate word division and to justify the space left in transcription. Then this will confuse the hearer. My turn بما انه ما عندي فد interval ماكو juncture between the two words هذه، فراح يكون يمكن ان تفسر differently. My turn قد تكون يا اما my turn or might earn. فاذا the answer that one case that t is fully aspirated initial in turn, and in the other case is not, being final in might. So what is the difference between, or let us say, how can I as a hearer understand that the meaning or the speaker tends to say my turn دوري مو الكلمتين الأخرى اللي هو might earn التي معناها يمكن أن يحصل. So how can I differentiate between or distinguish between the two different cases or let us say of the two words? The difference is what is the aspirated t. My turn t is aspirated one, but when it comes at the end of the word might, no, it is unaspirated. This is the difference between the two, let us say, cases. So, on page 116, something which is nice, I'd like you to read it. Many ingenious minimal pairs have been invented to show the significance of juncture. So juncture is what is very important. The interval, let us say the pause ما بين الكلمات in my speech بكلامي, it is significant, مهم. كيف؟ Few of which given below. For example, if I would like to differentiate between might rain and my train. My train هاي موجودة 100 on page 116. انتبهوا. My train and my train. Might rain and my train. So how can I differentiate between the two, let us say, phrases? From what? From the pronunciation of t sound. Also, for example, here I have all that I'm after today. Okay, all that I'm after today. And then we have all the time after today. the time after today. Or when I say, for example, trail landing or trail landing, keep sticking and keeps sticking, and keeps ticking. So the juncture is very important in the also the connected speech. So the last two lines, very important one to summarize what we have discussed in this chapter. It should be, or it should by now be clear that there is a great deal of difference between the way words are pronounced in isolation لما يلفظون الكلمات لوحدهم and their pronunciation in the context of connected speech ولما ألفظهم أني في ضمن كلام أو sentences اللي احنا سميناه connected speech. So there are many differences. The reasons, let us say, behind this difference or these differences is what? There are aspects of connected speech that we should pay attention to them. What are these aspects? ما هي هذه المفاهيم أو الأشياء اللي موجودة بالconnected speech? Number one, we should pay attention to our rhythm, الإيقاع مالتنا. Okay? The regular occurrence of the stress syllables or the stress, for example, according to the time or according to what? To the syllable or the stress. Okay? And the second point is what? Was about assimilation. And we have two kinds of assimilation. We have regressive and progressive. And the assimilation لما قلنا one sound affects the other sound مو يغير الثاني صوت الآخر. وهذا التغيير الاسsimilation قد يكون in the manner of articulation or a place of articulation or even in voicing وقد يغير لي حتى الvoicing للsounds يعني واحد يأثر على صوت الآخر. النقطة الأخيرة هي كانت the third point هي كانت elision. In our connected speech we may delete certain sounds. Okay? And the last one is what? Sometimes we put or pronounce the linking re or sometimes linking re لما تكون موجودة. intrusive re لما تكون شنو ما موجودة أصلا بالكلمات اللي أنا أتكلمها نسميها intrusive دخيلة. طبعا الانتروسيف ري واللينكينج ري هي حالة من حالات الإيش؟ الجنكشر اللي هو الانترفول الفاصل بالكلاماتي. الجنكشر is very important one. Why? Because it has significant الأهمية in understanding what the speaker means in his speech. ومنطيني أمثلة عليها page 116. Okay, so we should know that the differences between the way words are pronounced in isolation, okay, and their pronunciation in the context of connected speech are very important, and we should know them. Okay, so this is chapter 14. The definition of the aspects are very important. The examples for to explain what do I mean, for example, by rhythm, by assimilation, by elision, by linking or linking is very important for you. Okay, so I think this is the end of our lecture for today. Thank you very much and goodbye.